Middle Georgia, no one does it like The Glory. 107.9 FM and 980 AM WDDO.
Says doggone it any way you want it at the indoor flea market right here in Macon, Georgia. Come visit us, 3670 Eisenhower Parkway, Macon, Georgia. Yes, it is our indoor restaurant waiting to serve and make your dog any way you want it. Safe and clean and ready to serve you.
Did someone say hot dog, sausage, Italian fries?
Connecting the community through gospel. The new 107.9 FM W300EB Macon and WDDO 980 AM Perry, Macon.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers, but are the views and opinions of the participants of the broadcast.
Mother Georgia, she's back on live, the historic 980 WDDO. All of a sudden, let's go live into the studio with our host, Brenda Sutton.
Hello, hello, hello. How's it going, everybody?
What's going on with mine?
You didn't tow it up.
No, I did not.
Mr. Jackson, please go open the door for Emily. You know, she just like, well, you know, I was outside standing in front of the door doing like this.
He wouldn't let you in?
No, he did let me in, but it was like, I mean, and then I discovered the door was open. I was like, the door ain't even locked. But
so he was a forward thinker.
He was very much so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you underestimated him again.
So how was your weekend?
Let's see. I'm grateful. Probably a little tired.
Yeah.
And I'll probably realize it after this show.
Why? How tired you are?
Yeah, I'm going to go get some sleep.
Well, you know, Mr. Williams is on the road.
Where is he?
Mr. Williams had trial today. He was in the courthouse
down in Albany?
You know,
in Doherty County?
Big Hen was in the courthouse today.
Hello, Emily. She got her smiling face clothes on.
Oh, yeah, she does.
Who did?
You. That's how I couldn't get in. That's where I've been.
No, I thought you were inside.
No, she was outside.
I was outside.
Trying to get in.
Right after you. Literally.
No.
I've been standing out there.
But I thought you were inside already.
No. You know what? I want to do a big shout out because, you know, a lot of times we're always talking about like making bib, and we do, and sometimes we give a shout. I want to give a shout out to all my relatives in Washington County.
Sandersville,
Tenno,
Oconee, Deep Step. Yeah, I know about that area.
Sparta, Davisburg Road.
Oh man, we're in Forsyth and Monroe County and Warner Robins, Hawkinsville. We're in a lot of places.
Down in there. Emily, I had someone call me looking for your shop this past week, and I gave them your address and how to get there. Seriously, this is no joke. I mean,
we didn't think you were.
But you know, I do make a lot of jokes though. But I'm not making one now though. I just want to put it out there like that. And so I gave them directions and stuff like that. They says, I just need to find Emily. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to make sure they did. I think they did, but I'm going to make sure, Emily, you be sure and tell people where you are, because they were like going up and down Ingleside looking for you.
Oh Lord. Okay. So my address is 6009 Watson Boulevard.
Really
that's in Warner Robins, Georgia.
Hey, Steve.
6009 Watson Boulevard, Suite 410. And you can't miss it. It's a huge Publix grocery store. It's a huge shopping plaza. It's a Waffle House there at the corner, a primary doctor's office, a dentist's office. So we're in that plaza. You can't miss us. If you get to the Publix on Watson, then you found the Naturalista.
Now, we gave away 2 wheels, and I just want to apologize to the people who we gave the wheels to, because Henry is always, you know, he's really, really on it. And later on, I'll disclose what I got this big fight going on in the community.
Oh Lord!
Yeah, I really do. You know, Henry's out there working with a particular community person, but you know what? It's some unscrupulous lawyers around here. You hear me?
How so?
They just dirty and low down, and they like to fight about nothing. And
Well,
since
you always calling somebody dirty low down, so give us the deets.
I'm gonna have to do it, after Big Hen. After Big Hen give me permission to do it.
Okay,
But
fair
I'm
enough.
like, yeah, I was just so I want to apologize to the people out there. Give him a minute. We just gotta fight a community fight for I'm gonna say this on air, and I hope I don't get in no trouble.
Well, you probably shouldn't say it.
But then I'm gonna say it anyway.
She's going to say it.
Right.
Emily's really just instigating, but go ahead.
Johnny,
if you tell her don't
Johnny,
say
you
she's
can
gonna say it.
You can attest to this.
Oh,
But
yes,
you can.
Oh, Lord.
A lot of times people look at, people of color and say they just little black folk. They ain't got nobody that's gonna help them. And so, sometimes we get mistreated because folk think you don't have nobody. And that's kind of what this fight is right here is, there's some people that underestimate it because she's a black girl, black woman. And, people come for you sometime when you black just to come. Now, it ain't all the time. Sometimes it's black folks coming for you too. But a lot of times in business, it's not black people. It's usually white people that come to you. Or not all white people, but just some unscrupulous ones. And my problem is that I hate to fight you like I'm from Pleasant Hill. But I'm gonna fight you like I'm from Pleasant Hill, which meaning that as soon as this thing's over, I am going to drag you.
Are you? Because that's not the Caucasian way.
I'm gonna drag them. I'm gonna drag them.
I thought you make a phone call.
Right, exactly.
I ain't making no phone call.
Exactly.
I'm going to drag them because. See, you got a lot of my problem, and I'm putting it out here before we get started.
Why so much anger?
Because we got some people who pretend like I really do like black people, and I like the gay people. I like all people. I just really, 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 really like them until that person competes or appears to be on the same level as that particular person of another race. Then it becomes a problem because I don't want you up here with me parallel. I want you beneath.
Okay.
And so as long as you where I can quote unquote pull you up, then it's okay. But when you walking with your back straight, sometimes they tend to play you crazy. Now I know I'm talking in code because I can't discuss folk business.
So it's like we shouldn't even talk about because it's too much in code. Even I'm
there she goes
perplexed.
Again.
So let's just save it for the after show.
We'll save it for the after show.
Mm-hmm.
The perplexed part, Emily, is simply this: you got some people out there that just straight hate on you because you make good soap.
Okay, I definitely have had that issue.
And by the way, Denver said that she wanted to learn how to make soap. I told her she had to go to the master. You know why I say that, Johnny? I went into the bathroom to wash my hands. I'm like, okay, I know I didn't have any soap in this little soap dispenser, but it was filled up to the top. And I said, darn. I said, Denver, did you put water in the soap dispenser? She said, yes, ma'am. I was trying to make soap.
She was learning how to stretch
it. That's right.
She was trying to learn how to stretch soap. I said, now the next time you want to make some soap, you got to go to Miss Emily and ask Miss Emily will she show you how to make, like some little hand soap. It was real fun. I at first, I was like, I was pushing down on the pump, they're just skeeting out of one number one.
So you really are teaching her the ways of a country girl.
What?
She probably putting, like, if you make hamburgers, she putting the bread crumbs in there, stretching the ground beef and all that kind of stuff.
I don't even know if she's doing that. She got Denver stuck on Dillard's and belts.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So, no, she ain't raising a country. She raising her.
Yeah, well, I remember she was going to the theater.
Yes.
Y'all are so low down.
Yes, we were headed to the theater.
But she was thinking about shopping. Yeah.
That it be a Dillard's somewhere nearby.
She can't help it. She can't help it at all. I was sitting there talking to this particular person, and I won't say the name, but the PPP came up in there. You know what?
You mean the PPP loan?
Yeah. Like, how many people get in trouble with that?
Oh gosh, they're listen, this is real talk. The IRS, well, Joe Biden just passed, I think it was a $81 million something, somewhere I think it was 81 million. He's hired 80 that he gave it to the IRS. They hiring 80,000 new auditors to come after small businesses. In particular, I mean, that's the way I believe they're fronting it as, we're going to make sure the taxes of the small businesses are done correctly. But honestly, I think it's a cover for them just trying to come after the people that lied about the PPP.
So those people who had put in the paperwork saying they had businesses, but their addresses were in Bird City and Pendleton Homes.
Right, exactly.
They were hairdressers and did not have one hair dryer or any kind of supply at all.
And eventually, I mean, essentially, they're all going to get caught up with, because the key to the whole PPP loan, the first thing that you had to have was an established business in 2019, which means you had to have a registered business with the city in 2019.
Yeah, but they were sending those Schedule Cs in left and right.
Doesn't matter, because when it gets down, that's what them 80,000 new auditors are doing.
Yeah,
they're going to go through. They're going to meet with the city, and they're going to say, we need all of the people that were registered, that had registered businesses in 2019, DBAs, LLCs, Incs, everybody that had a business registered with this state or with this city. We need a list. And all you got to do is cross-reference. Well, ma'am, you applied for a $50,000 PPP loan. You didn't have a business in 2019.
Right.
So we're going to need our $50,000 back, or you're going to go sit it out.
And
so, I mean, it's eventually that, it's kind of like what Malcolm X said, the chicken's going to come home to roost.
Well, I'm a conspiracy theorist.
All right.
And I thought from the beginning it was a setup.
Of course.
And I said to myself, now, here's the way I think all of these privatized prisons that they built, they had to have customers. And they laid this out. That was one way to get plenty of them. Because if, you put that piece of cheese out, sooner or later, especially if you got a bunch of hungry cheese eaters, they coming for the cheese.
Yeah, because it was too easy to get.
It was too easy.
It was too easy to get. And, I know a couple of people that got some PPP loans and their kids' names and, and their aunties' names. And I said, what are you going to do when the IRS come knocking at your 82-year-old auntie's door asking, well, what you do with the $40,000 we gave you? And your auntie looking like, huh?
And then what about
I'm
the ones?
on fixed income. What you mean?
And by the way,
wait a minute. What about the ones who got PPP loans that are parts of organizations, but everybody in the organization didn't know you received a PPP loan?
So well, first of all, there was a case that my husband worked on, and the person, grandmama, just like you saying, Emily, the person's grandmama got in trouble. Why? Because the grandson took a PPP loan out in her name. Yeah. Oh yeah. This is real right here. This ain't fake. This is I ain't gonna
you
say
said what the grandson took it out in her name?
Took it out in the grandmama's name. And she didn't want to turn the grandson in. But that's what we do. I don't want him to go to jail. So what you think? So what you think happened? See, you can't.
They're gonna take her.
They're gonna take her.
Yeah.
So when you like fraudulently use somebody's name in the PPP,
you're not gonna be in there making breakfast at the prison.
People didn't think, and I really, we talked about the PPP before, Emily,
and people have joked about it, but this is a serious thing
real.
That
so
is coming
serious.
back to get these people. And like you said, these prisons in the next, I'd give it 2 years tops. Within the next year to 2 years, those prisons gonna be overloaded with people that just literally got greedy and stole. And here's the thing, we've all been there where we've been broke, we've been
Emily,
desperate, where we've
Emily.
been low.
Ain't got no money.
Most of us, not all, but most of us didn't resort to massively illegal things. And so it upsets me as a small business owner, because by the time I even knew how to fill out the paperwork, what to do, what to put on the paperwork, the money was gone. The The first round, the money was gone. So here I have a legitimate business that I've had since 2004, right? Registered and everything since 2004, and I couldn't get any money simply because the money was gone. And I'm like, how is X trillion dollars gone already? Well, it was gone because people were getting money that didn't deserve to get it or that weren't entitled to the money.
And they lied because I went through it. I went through just looking at who got the money, and they would go in. Well, it's a lot of churches out there.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all know who you are because I looked you up.
Mm-hmm.
And they said they had X amount of employees in the church. Now, I know that some of these churches did not give these people this money.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I said earlier.
You know, I'm not going to throw them
some downtown. It's a couple of businesses downtown. I'm not going to call that one in particular that actually got $1.4 million of PPP money. And I know for a fact they didn't give those employees that money. I know for a fact.
In fact, I know one restaurant here in town that got close to $3 million. Didn't give the employees the money. They took and renovated the restaurant. Cut the hours of the employees. Yeah, and the management got paid.
About.
And the management got paid X amount of dollars.
So what? And the whole point is that if you're a legitimate business and you qualified for the funds, that's fine. But do the right things. The PPP stands for the Paycheck Protection Program. It was supposed to make sure that your employees continue to get paid during the pandemic.
Yeah.
It wasn't for renovation purposes or redoing or buying this or buying that. It was a specific. And even on the first draw, I wasn't able to get the first draw. The second draw, I did. But I was specifically told this is what this money is supposed to be spent on. You can only spend it. And it was literally 4 things that you were allowed to spend the PPP money on.
And what were those 4 things?
4 things. For one, you had to use, I'm not mistaken, it was either 50 or 60% of it had to go towards pay. Had to go towards paycheck or payroll. I'm sorry. You could spend it on supplies to keep your business running. You could spend it on utilities and rent. So those are the 4 things: rent, utilities, supplies to keep your business running, and most importantly, your payroll.
So they were all essentials.
All essentials. Yeah. And see what people
things to keep the business running.
Yeah.
And see, and the reason, I guess, it just kind of dawned on me, and I was like, that's not really what I want to talk about. But I was like, we really need to help people understand Joe Biden. And I like Joe. He kind of crazy sometimes, but he's signing the law 10 years to come after you with that PPP. You hear me? 10 years.
That's what I'm saying. 80,000 IRS auditors. They got time.
And
they got time and the money. They coming.
I heard of an incident last night. The whole family got PPP. The 17-year-old child got PPP. Mama, daddy, the grandmama, everybody in the house. So that's one of the things. If you're listening, and you had several PPP paychecks coming to one address,
they're coming after you first.
They're coming after you first.
So you need to be proactive.
You need to try to pay that money back.
Because you couldn't go anywhere and find a grill or anything during that time. They bought all the grill. They were having cookouts everywhere.
And the sad thing about it is just like Emily said.
All the rim shops was sold out.
Yeah. But
couldn't get a spinning wheel rim anywhere.
But just think about it. You had to have filed the previous year, right? So you lied on your tax return in order to get your PPP. So it's actually a couple of things that's going on. It ain't gonna be just like
you had to have a Schedule C in order to apply for the PPP loan. So these people are flat out lying. And here's the thing. They had help. I'm not saying that people are unintelligent, but let's just call a spade a spade. These people weren't just going and filling out the paperwork themselves. They were getting their accountants to help them fill it out. They were getting their the people that do their taxes to help them fill out the paperwork. But here's the thing. That tax person has nothing to lose. Your accountant has nothing to lose because it's your name that applied for the loan. It doesn't matter. They don't know who filled it out, right? So
that's if that tax preparer has good sense.
But let me tell you,
they had enough sense to not put their name on it.
And you know
but there are some who know how to prepare taxes. When that person came in, said, look, I'll do this for you, but you got to give me a cut.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
a lot of that.
And by the way, they got a cut.
That's what I'm
You
saying.
know, the going thing was,
I know
I give
somebody
you,
that was
that's
doing
right.
it.
You give me 5,000, I give you 15.
Right, exactly.
Okay?
I'm
And
gonna get you to
that was how they did it.
Absolutely. And
I'm gonna get you 30. Just
no, it was
Give me
20.
five.
it was 20,000, and you give me 5, you take 15.
Yeah.
And they did it all day, every day. Now the issue is the ones who got the 5,000. There is no audit trail.
Right.
There was no money trail. So actually, what they're going to do
It's gonna be hearsay.
Let me tell you how they're gonna do the moonwalk out of that. They gave me the information. I just wrote down what they told me. That's all. I thought what they told me was legit. When that person stand up and I've heard somebody say it in court, I thought I was just gonna fall out because they didn't realize, dummy, that when you got that PPP, your child support changed. Okay.
DFACS, your food stamps, Section 8, anything that you were getting, any type of government assistance, because those systems work hand in hand. They know. It's like, well, you can't apply for a PPP loan if you say you're not working, or you say you work at McDonald's and you only make X amount of dollars. So here it is, you applied for a PPP loan, and this is what a lot of people don't realize. In order to qualify for the full 20,000, you had to have made over $100,000
the previous year.
So the previous year. So in 2019, that means that you had to tell the IRS, I claimed $100,000 or more on my Schedule C, right? So if you made $100,000 last year, why are you on food stamps? Why are you living in Section 8? So they didn't think about it. They just got greedy. And like you said, they waiting on them. They waiting on them. Because if you was stupid enough, and I'm just gonna say it, if you were stupid enough to lie and say you made $100,000 and you didn't, they're waiting on you because they know good and darn well you don't have that $20,000 to pay back.
And let me just go and
You
say
ain't
this.
got it.
I also heard of an incident whereas they were rejected for it, but now they still got your application because you asked for it. So just because you didn't get the money, don't think that you out of hot water.
And it's extremely rare if they didn't get it. Most of the people that applied and they knew exactly what to put on that application, about 96, 97% of the people that I know that applied for them, they got them. So I don't know anybody personally that applied for the PPP loan that didn't get it, and for reasons due to the application. Most people that I know, a couple of business owners, what was told to myself and a few of them from the banks is that we just ran out of money. We don't have any more.
And I'm saying this because some people think, Johnny, they think because, well, I didn't get the PPP, they ain't gonna lock me up. Well, you just lied. You just lied on the application, which is tax fraud.
There you go.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So either way, you is not really in a great situation because you didn't get the money and now you done lied on your taxes. And you didn't pay these people their money. They still, why you say you made $100,000 and you didn't make it.
And then some of them was like, well, I just went and filed an amended return. That was the other gimmick or the other trap. They went back and filed amended returns because, you can go back as far as 20, 30 years and file amended returns for your income tax return. And so I told this one girl, I said, okay, so you falsified documents. You went back and you redid it, or you changed your taxes from 2019.
Right.
I said, but this is all based on you having a registered business in 2019. Did you have a registered business? You can't what they call it, retroactive. It's not retroactive with a business a license. You had to have had it registered in 2019. So you still screwed. A friend of mine and the hairstylist that I've known for years in Atlanta, a falsified document. She got over $100,000 in PPP money. She been in prison since last year.
What?
Yep. Lying. Another, what is the celebrity? I can't think of his name. He got $4 million and he went and bought Maseratis and all kind of stuff. They caught up with him real quick. He had a trucking company. He had a legitimate trucking company, but he got $4 million and didn't give any of the $4 million to his employees. Not one red cent could be traced back to any of the employees. So how about the employees got together and told on him? His employees, the truckers got together and told on him. So now he's doing time because he got told on. I'm like, at least if you're going to lie about 4 million, or I don't even think he lied about the 4 million. He qualified to get the 4 million, but you were supposed to pay your truckers, pay your employees. He didn't pay them anything. And remember, I go back to those 4 things: rent, utilities, payroll, and what was the other one? Payroll, rent, utilities, and supplies. Those are the 4 things that I had to show where I paid and the money that they gave me, where it was deposited. I had to highlight and show this was for rent, this was for utilities, this was the payroll. So I had to show actually where I spent the money. And so thankfully, I give myself a hand clap. My PPP loan has already been forgiven, so I don't have to pay it back.
Hallelujah.
So, but I kept accurate records and I did the right thing.
Well, see, I wanted to make sure that we had a conversation about it because, Johnny, I know of instances where people lied. I'm not a tax professional, so I really don't, have all of that information. But let's say you filed joint with somebody, right, with your spouse or whatever. You lied on the PPP. Who do you think is going to have to pay it back? Whoever in the house is working. And they're going to take that money.
It says that Black-owned businesses received 1.9% of the loans, while white-owned businesses received 83% of the loan. But where it gets hairy is that Black or African Americans are only 13% of the population. White Americans are 76%. And the Asian Americans received 8% of PPP loans. Then the Hispanic, 7%.
Now, with that being said, who they're going after are the people
the brown people.
And by the way, it's going to be some people that I would just say at this point, because so much money is involved in it, I think they're going to just go after anybody they can get some money from.
And the thing that's going to hurt people the most is people with small businesses such as myself, or anybody that has a small business. And what I like to note too is a small business is anything with 100 employees or less. They consider that a small business.
Right.
So which makes the small business community in our country massive. But those are the ones that they're going to go after, the smaller ones, the ones that have the mom and pop stores who can't actually afford an accountant, or the ones who can't afford a proper tax person. And those are the ones they're going to come after. They're going to audit. They're going to want to know, XYZ, show us proof. And, again, thankfully mine was forgiven. But they're not only coming after PPP, because remember, I kept telling people, kept telling my constituents, stop asking for more stimulus money, because that money has to come from somewhere, number one, and number two, it has to be paid back. The government just doesn't keep dealing out trillions and trillions of dollars without a plan to get the money back. So the money, they're going to, one way I know for a fact that they're going to get that money back is those 80,000 auditors. They're coming after small business owners, and they're going to audit the living daylights out of you, and they're going to have you paying back. So that's one major way that they're going to be getting that money back. So in turn, the very backbone of your community is the ones that they're going to be coming after, which again, I preach all the time why it's so important to support local small mom and pop stores, because the conglomerates, your Walmart, your Target, your Publix, Kroger's, all of these massive companies have lawyers, like massive lawyers on payroll that they pay millions of dollars a year to, right? So people like myself, I don't have a lawyer on payroll that can fight for me if the IRS comes for me, and they know that. So we're an easy target. They're not going to come after your Walmart, your Target, your Kroger's, etc., because they have the multi-million-dollar lawyers. They're going to come after the people who it's going to be the easiest to get the money from.
And not only that, I mean, I like I said, we're putting it out there because you need to understand that if you have a neighbor hater, so everybody got some haters.
Mm-hmm.
The PPP attracted though, because all they're gonna do is get on the phone and tell.
Mm-hmm.
They got your hotline, Johnny.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's it's public knowledge. They actually have 2 or 3 websites you can go out there and see exactly who applied. Who got the PPP loans and how much they got. So I went through that website. Every person I knew of, I could think of, I was typing in their name, typing in their business name, just to see
Me too.
how
Me
much
too,
they actually got. I don't
know what.
Well, I didn't do it for messy purposes. When I initially did it, I did it because they told me that they had run out of money in our area, and I'm like, how? I want to know who got this money. That the reason why I couldn't get any, I want to know who the money got doled out to. And so in the interim of doing that, I was like, now I know good darn well this girl ain't got no big, like, how? And so of course I didn't say anything. I didn't turn nobody in. I was just shocked, like, wow. And then people I knew that got, 30, 40,000. And I'm just shaking my head like, and I can't even get a 1 red cent.
Well, they had kept telling me, oh, Brenda, Henry got an EIN, you need to apply for it. I said, no, I don't neither. And let me just tell you something. I did not apply for PPP.
You didn't?
No, we suffered though. I mean, we really went through some things because of that.
Mm.
But it was better to go through that than to make sure that I didn't call attention to myself, because I'm just chicken.
Yeah, because y'all don't do well in jail.
Oh no, you so low down. But Emily, I just kind of wanted to touch on it because I was like, I mean, I heard some lawyers. I listened to all type of social media, but I've heard some lawyers talk about there is no defense. You follow what I'm saying? When they go in, what type of defense will a lawyer have for I've completed the information, I lied about it. I mean, what can they say?
Yeah.
You couldn't see, you signed it, you didn't read what you signed. I gave so and so 5,000. Well, show me evidence that you gave them 5,000 or whatever like that.
Right.
But the other, yeah.
And then all the say, for instance, if you did give me 5,000, I just say, oh, she gave it to me. I've been doing her taxes for years, or I'm just a good friend of hers, and she just gave me the 5,000 because she knew I wasn't working during COVID. So it's so, the whole point is that the fault is going to lie in who's ever numbers up a name and social security number that check got issued to. That's who is ultimately responsible for that loan.
My suggestion at this point is, if you have got something fraudulent from the IRS, get in front of it. You know what I'm saying?
And what's the best way to get in front of it? Because I'm thinking if you've lied and manipulated and canoodled your way into $20,000, $30,000, $40,000.
Canoodled?
Canoodled.
Okay. Yeah. Just checking.
But at this point, you're going to need to call. You need to go ahead and call you an attorney. A tax attorney or an accountant, somebody who work in that business, so that you can figure out how you can start paying these people back their money. Because if you wait until they come for you, you already waited too late.
Right.
I mean, ain't no turning around when and basically people will forgive you if you make a mistake, like, okay, I did it. I'm really sorry. Let me give you this money back. Let me work out a payment plan or whatever it is. I was real crazy. Whatever, I had COVID or whatever excuse you want to use as to why you took these people's money. But it's always best when you're dealing with negativity to get in front of it. Don't try to deal with it from the back end. Do it on the front end, because you can better manage it like that. So I would suggest go ahead and get your lawyer. Then I had somebody say to me, well, you know what, Henry, I'm gonna come to you. Henry said, you ain't got no money.
Henry, hey Henry, big shout out to Henry Williams.
Henry talking about you ain't got no money. He said that's why they got the PPP with a fraud, because they ain't got no money. He was like, don't come. So don't expect for anybody to do anything free for you.
Yeah, especially after you stole $20,000, $30,000, $40,000. Yeah.
The average person went through that $20,000 in a week.
Wow.
They got all kind of Louis Vuittons. You know what, Johnny? Louis Vuittons. They was out there. You see them up there. They ain't got their passport. I saw more folk traveling. You did too, Emily.
Yeah. Oh, listen.
They was all on the plane, wasn't they?
And listen, you all on Facebook posting your business on Facebook. I ain't see it. And I said I ain't never seen more people travel during the pandemic in my life. Them folks didn't care. They was in Jamaica. They was in Honduras. I saw a couple of my friends was in Dubai. And I'm like, now I know where you working. You ain't got no Dubai money.
Oh, that Dubai money is long money.
That's long money. So you done got some money from somewhere, because the furthest I done ever seen you go was Savannah to Tybee Island. And you in Dubai with the, you got the pyramids of Giza in the back of you. Like, what?
Okay, today we need to be talking about relationships.
You up there standing in front of the Sphinx.
Right.
With his nose blown off.
Please call and join in. 478-250-1444.
Was Tybee Island.
And now they're over in Dubai.
Yeah, they was all over there. You know what? Dubai so rich, they done just built them an island. Just had them some dirt imported in and just built him one.
478-250-1444.
But you know what?
What's up, Steve Bryant?
And I've seen the folk, on the internet. They still traveling. I'm looking around. They just traveling. Where they at? They just all on the boat and everything.
They everywhere. Jamaica, Paris. I'm like, girl,
how you do that?
Paris, Georgia was the last place I saw you. And now you in Paris, France. Talk about we mon chéri. Like, now you from Sandalsville.
I have lost all control here. There's no turning back now.
Parlez-vous français?
Parlez-vous français? Now, I took 4 years of French. All 4 years.
You do. You have some really great diction.
So,
I used to be able to speak a little bit of Spanish.
Je m'appelle Jean.
What was
Je m'appelle Emily.
She knew.
Well, let me see if you know what this is. eBay, Uber, eBay.
Au soleil, sur la pluie, Amadi, il amène oui. Il y a tout ce que vous voulez aux Champs-Élysées.
Well, eBay, Uber, Eddie.
No, brother. The correct response is oui, oui.
You know what, Johnny? You remember when you used to speak pig Latin?
I never did. I could never get it. I could never get it. I didn't.
I don't know. I was too busy learning a real language.
It was like algebra to me. I never got it. I never got it.
But I don't know how to speak. I know how to speak a little bit of Spanish, but what I can't do is roll my R's, and so I don't really mess it up real bad. I can't do that. I can't roll them. That's a difference.
Roll the R.
I can't.
I'm from Texas, so I grew up.
There's no stopping them now. I promise you.
I can. In fact, I can read Spanish and I can understand Spanish much better than I can speak.
She said the lady was last seen in Paris, Georgia.
I'm just okay.
And now she's hanging out in Dubai.
Listen, I mean we're joking, but I'm serious. Like these people are coming. We're joking about it, but it's serious because these people actually were, and I'm not making this up.
And
like
by the way,
literally, like girl, the furthest I've ever known you to go was Tybee Island. You all in Dubai,
and I'm telling you, and they were all over there, and you could tell they had been. Look at Johnny.
All over in Monte Carlo.
I ain't lying, and they got them
Switzerland.
They not
with skis, standing up taking pictures with skis.
Got the glass. Look at, got the sunglasses on. What is it? The Gucci glasses and everything, but they got the big shades on.
Down in Jamaica, swimming with the pigs, everything.
Never learned how to swim.
Yep, honey. I'm telling y'all, there's
gonna be some good stories in jail, boy.
What they go, and all I can say is, if you go there and you're female, don't eat the honey bun. I'm gonna leave that alone right there. If you're in jail.
Okay, let me reel this thing back in because
I told you earlier, there's no stopping now.
you can't have the honey bun. You can't. Let me just tell you where I got the story
Steve,
from.
get your girl.
When I taught DUI class, I had some people in there, and they would always, during break time, they would tell me different experiences that they had, and they said, Miss Brenda, when you go into jail, I'm like, I hope I never have to go. Okay.
Yeah.
They said, don't eat the honey bun. I'm like, what you mean, don't eat the honey bun? They said, when they put the honey bun outside your cell, you're not supposed to eat it. Well, I know you're hungry, because that food in there rough. And so they said, well, if you eat the honey bun, that's a sign. I said, a sign for what? They said, oh, I said, oh, no problem. I'm not messing with the honey bun. They said, I said, what you supposed to leave it now? You need to like push it away from the cell, like you reject it, so that whoever sent it to you understand that's not the type of person you are. Don't give you the honey bun.
What if you eat half the honey bun?
It's gonna be a problem, Emily.
I told you all.
I'm just
Emily,
there's no turning
I'm
back.
just trying to make sense of it all.
If you eat half that honey bun, you're gonna come out talking like this.
Oh, okay.
You're gonna be shared.
I don't think you want to have any bass in your voice.
No, I don't. I got a high pitched voice, so that's about as low as I can go.
Yeah, boy, I can't mess with that. But in fact, they told me just for us the jail culture, they said, you know what? Be sure and in fact, don't take anything from anybody, because the culture is that you don't accept anything. Then my honey buns are sweet. Yeah, we know that they're real sweet. They sticky buns. All I know is that that's just not something that you want to do.
She did not say they're sticky buns.
Wait a minute. I just said that. Well, look, now see, Johnny, that's where your head is. We on a Christian radio station.
So they're not giving them paper towels and hand sanitizer to clean their hands.
What? Now you know what, Johnny? Now I can't believe that you think that's what they give you in jail.
You said it was
They
sticky,
ain't giving you.
So I was thinking they gave them hand sanitizer.
Do you honestly think that they're going to give you some paper towels while you in jail? They ration out the toilet paper and stuff like that. They're a bit more caring about that. Oh, I don't even know how you wash your hands and stuff like that. I'm like,
Well, hopefully none of us in this room right now will ever have to figure out how to wash our hands in prison.
That's right, because I ain't going. Because I didn't take no PPP money. And by the way, and people was just
they'll put you out because you talk a lot.
Well, they probably done beat me up or something. But that girl told me, girl, you can get $5,000. I was like, okay.
Yeah. And let me tell you, and that's real serious. I had a really, really good close friend of mine that owns a real legitimate business. She was approached by her tax person that said, I can get you 20,000. I'll keep 4 and you can take the 16. So the friend asked me, she was like, well, you want to do it? I was like, that just seemed like, is it going to be done, based off of legitimate paperwork and all of that? And she was like, well, yeah, I think so, but she just know what to put down on the paperwork. And something in my spirit was just like, no, something about that don't sound right. And I said, and if she really trying to help you, maybe I could see her saying, okay, I'll charge you $150 to help you fill out the paperwork. But the fact that she wants such a large amount lets me know that she's going to be doing something she ain't got no business. And so I essentially, obviously turned it down. But I just thought that I was like, no.
I was scared. And I think for the people who got it, who were legitimate, that's one thing. But there's a lot of people who got it who were not legitimate. Now, let me just tell you one thing about the government. I write grants, and it's been a while since I've written them. But, my point to you is that they go through things line by line by line. But I'm going to tell you what else they do. They got something called an interview, an exit audit, which means if you put 9 employees down on that paper, they can ask you the names and social security numbers of those 9 people. So they can go and check behind you and see if you paid these people. Is what you were saying. But just don't think that they're not going to check, because they're going to check. And that's how they're going to spank a whole lot of people, right?
Checking's about to begin with these new hirees.
Yeah. And, I mean, I know some people, and we just talking about the 20,000, but let's just talk about the ones who got the big money. They bought Maseratis, they bought boats, they bought jet skis.
They've been eating squid.
They've been eating squid in Dubai.
Oh yeah, they went. They look, and they had the caterer. They had the caterer to come to the house. That's another thing. You know, I've seen. I mean, I done seen most chefs, and we got some good chefs right here.
Oh yeah, this huge boom of personal chefs. Everybody's a personal chef. Oh, my personal favorite. Everybody got moon bouncy houses. You want to rent a moon bouncy house for me? You want to rent a popcorn machine for me? You want to rent a snow cone machine? Well, where y'all getting these popcorn machines and snow cone machines and bouncer houses?
Come on,
stole my thunder because I was about to bounce a house. Because boy, I ain't never seen so many bouncy houses.
Oh, and a 360 photo booth.
I ain't lying. Everybody and their mama got one.
Yeah.
Got a 360 photo booth.
Yeah.
So they can have it.
Funny.
You know, so they can have it for the birthday party.
478-250-1444.
And Emily, you were talking, and then the person chef be in the kitchen to have on his little white shirt, that little poof, 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 poof hat on, and be up in there stirring up. Let me tell you, let me ask y'all something. When did black folks start eating lamb chop?
You know what? I don't know. I personally don't like them. I've tried them, and I just.
I'm trying to tell you. You know, it was a time all black folk ate with pork chops, and you know I'm not lying.
Pork chops and chicken was
pork chop.
You know,
but not everybody. I was on TikTok. The girl talking about, oh, we got some honey barbecue lamb chop. You
mad because they started eating what you eat?
Right.
You real old.
Right. That's right. Man, because she can't get it in the store no more.
PPP loan made her not be able to get it in the store.
Right.
You know, it used to be you couldn't get no crab legs.
That's what I just finna say. All the crab leg gone. All the shrimp gone. All the, yeah.
They ain't lying. It was just like you could, you know, you laughing. But I'm serious.
But it's, because I mean, and for a person like me, like I don't eat red meat. I don't eat beef. I don't eat pork. I don't eat lamb and any. So all I do is eat seafood and chicken. So I honestly, it affected me because I would go to the store. It ain't no shrimp. It ain't no salmon. It ain't no lobster, no crab legs. And I'm like, but it used to always be, you know, plenty. Now you can't even get it.
What's that place out there at Eisenhower?
Talk about the meat shop, the butcher shop?
The seafood place. The Crab House?
Making seafood?
I don't know.
Is it the Crab House?
I don't know. I don't go out there.
Presidential Parkway.
I don't know.
It's the Crab House.
I don't know what it is.
I've never seen so many people going to the Crab House. That went, because, you know, generally, you know.
That's income tax time you start seeing them lined up at Carrabba's.
But they were PPP.
But they were PPPing, though. I'm trying to tell you. I was like, look at this right here. I
guess but people really, we're talking about this because we're trying to ease the pain because we know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is serious.
That is coming. Believe me, it is coming.
And the thing about it is, it was good when it lasted. I mean, you know, I know it's nice to have the personal chef, the boy be in the kitchen. You ain't got to wash the dishes and stuff. Emily, did you see them? They used to bring the little portable wok in the house. You know how you go to Mercados and they had a little thing, the man be throwing the egg up in his hat and everything. Boy, now the chefs be bringing all kind of equipment in your house.
Yeah, and I saw one on Facebook. He threw the egg up in his hat and missed, and it just cracked all over the place. And I just said, these hood chefs, these PPP chefs, like, where y'all be finding these folks? That man is not a chef. He got prison tattoo. Like, he fresh out.
But what they were going to do was call in a cleaning service.
Right.
Oh, okay, sure. And they be in there.
But the chef is also the owner of the cleaning service. So after he cooks, he runs to the bathroom and changes his clothes has the cleaning service name on the shirt.
So he got two PPP loans.
Right.
He got two. And see, and like I said, we're making a funny about it, but that was real talk. You know, everybody, they'd have the little dinner parties. Now, you know, Donnie Stewart, I show some love, throw some love out. Emily introduced me to Donnie. And Donnie is fabulous. She is absolutely fabulous. And she has come to our home and prepared dinner for Henry and I. But we were doing this before it was PPP.
Right.
Because Donnie was reasonable enough so that we didn't want to go out to
I
say
mean,
to a
well,
restaurant.
Caucasians have been
Well,
doing it
no,
for a while.
well,
Yeah.
she's
You
a
know,
real, she's
it's
a
the
real,
norm for them.
That's the norm for Brand.
but she's just a real, she's just excellent.
Brand.
Well, I'm just telling you that she would come to the
Brand,
house
Brand.
and make,
Yeah.
make dinner for us for anniversaries or something like that. But outside of her, a lot of people hadn't been doing it, but I just saw them. They be in there cooking, and they were throwing up all the stuff, the steaks and everything, and chopping. You now this when I saw you like a little bit too much, Johnny. You got a lobster tail. Then they, Emily, I'm not lying. They done bust the lobster tail over in the back. They got all kind of seafood, crab and shrimp and stuff coming out. You got 3 different kind of seafood in there.
Right.
With a whole bunch of cheese. You can't even taste the seafood because of the cheese.
Right, yeah.
I'm not lying.
Yeah, you ain't lying.
They're eating shark and
right.
eating whales.
Squid and want to know why he taste this. You taste a piece of squid and 2 minutes later, the whole side of your face done blew up like a balloon. You're like, I don't feel right. Because he ain't clean that squid. He just
Hey, we just
went over there in Bowden Homes and bought it out somebody's trunk.
Let me see if I can give y'all just a pause. Remember, tomorrow is Turkey Tuesday at Granny's Country Kitchen. And if you would like to receive the Dinner to Feed 5 free, the Dinner to Feed 5, one is going to be given away at Anderson's Diner on Sunday, and another Feed 5 dinner is going to be given away at Granny's Country Kitchen on Sunday. Call either 478-250-1444 or 478-0621. First 2 callers get the free dinners to Feed 5.
And they may throw some lobster in there too.
That's right. With some scrimps
squid.
on top. With some scrimps on top. I know I'm making a crack about it, but that's something serious. Can you put that phone number up there in the comment section, for us?
People are going to be in for rude awakening.
And it's just, and then here you go. Well, white folks been doing it for years.
It don't matter.
It ain't got nothing to do.
Right.
It ain't got nothing to do with it. Because I saw the churches. One church, $48,000. They had 6 people working there. I said, now what 6 people they had working at that church? I bet they ain't had no 6 people working.
Right.
If I'd have known, I'd have joined.
Y'all need somebody to sweep up.
Yeah, member.
And so, you got, but all that was the pastor's salary because folk wasn't paying no tithe and offering, which is a whole nother show as to why people ain't paying money and stuff like they used to.
Well, I get that because you have some pastors that are actually on the payroll at the church, and some that whose only income is their salary from the church. That I understand, but some of these churches, some in particular, I know that got hundreds of thousands of PPP dollars, saying, well, people ain't paying their tithes and well, cause they can't get the PPP, but they ain't got it, like, hey, man, I ain't got it, man. Listen, can I give you half today and half next Sunday?
and then the church, and this is what it was too, Emily. They wasn't helping folk when they had money.
Right.
You had to go through a whole
hoop. Yeah. I remember when you legitimately needed help, you went to the church and they legitimately helped you. Now you got to jump through all of these hoops and for one, it's because people were taking advantage of the church, but also the church want to be too much in your business.
Oh, yeah.
But that's a topic for another show.
Okay. And Johnny, did you want to announce we got a winner for one of the dinners?
Cynthia Cersei, calling number 1 for the dinner. Thanks for calling in, Cynthia.
Man.
Oh, that's probably because you came.
Cynthia.
Thank you, Cynthia. And you know what, Emily?
We need one more caller.
More caller.
There's another dinner to be given away.
But you want to know something? I need to try to get us some other stuff. I'm gonna call somebody and see what I can get us down there in Washington County.
Okay, I see it.
Oh, you see it now?
Yeah, we got 5 minutes left for you to call in. 478-250-1444 to get the dinner for 5 free this Sunday.
And the hotline for the PPP fraud, I'm just not going to even say it because I don't want to contribute to that.
No, you gonna be the on the other end answering.
I ain't doing it.
She gonna put on her
They gonna think they on that
voice.
Monopoly board.
Hello, this is Brenda Sutton. How may I help you?
Thank you so much for calling. Oh, wait a minute. 800 PPP got you.
Go directly to jail. Do not pass go.
Do not collect $200.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Man, it's tough.
You know, this is the PPP hotline, Miss Williams.
We tried to make it easy to swallow, but this is an actualism. They did not hire all those people just to check regular taxes.
And
exactly.
And I want to be very clear on this.
Yeah.
I want to be very, very clear on this.
It's a serious business, y'all.
Is that even if you didn't get the money, even if you didn't get it, but you completed the paperwork to get it and lied on the paperwork, don't think they won't come get you for that. They'll get you for lying on the paperwork.
Yeah, that's considered fraud as well.
And you know what I did? I went directly through the bank. I went directly through who I bank with. I let them fill out the paperwork because the bank ain't finna put nothing on there illegal or wrong. So I let them fill out the paperwork, and they told me before they even submitted it, this is how much you are going to get. Now, if the government approves it, this is how much you're going to get. So it wasn't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It wasn't up in the air. I let them fill it out. That way I knew that if anything got implicated, it's going to come back on them. And the bank is not going to put their own, self on the line like that. And I didn't let nobody personal do
Brenda,
nothing.
what you just said is so important, that they are investigating those who applied, whether you got accepted or not.
That's what I want to stress at.
Yeah.
Whether you got the money or not,
if you submitted
that's
an application, whether you got a call back or text back or email back, if you submitted a request for a loan from PPP, you are being investigated.
That's right.
So get your ducks in a row.
And that's all I'm saying. Get your ducks in a row. If you know that you've done something you don't have no business, you know you ain't got no money to get a lawyer, you best to call somebody and ask.
And there's a difference between the PPP loan and the EIDL loan. So maybe we should talk about that next week. So because some people got PPP, some got EIDL, and some got both.
Okay, we got another winner.
And what's that caller's name, Brenda?
Cara West.
Cara West. Hey, Cara, thank you.
Cara West.
All right. West. So we got Cynthia Cersei and Cara West.
Oh, thank you, Steve. You be safe too. We appreciate you because you just one of we got to get us some fans.
Didn't you say you a Central Charger?
Yeah, here Central Charger.
Oh, wow.
Do you know that this weekend there's anybody who ever went to Central High School, there's a big reunion at Central City Park.
Oh, no. I have to tell Jimmy.
Anybody who ever went to Central High School.
But let me just say this, though.
Central Charger reunion.
But let me just say
we ain't wearing no blue. I don't know when that blue stuff came in.
But it was orange and white.
We are the big orange.
You know you out of sight. Hey, I used to be a cheerleader.
That's right.
Of course you did.
Let me tell you something.
Of course.
Back in the day, Central was the
football. I'm out.
And Central was the football team, okay? Come on, Johnny. You know we used to tear it up. And Southwest was the basketball. We don't know what y'all were over there at Northeast.
The Runners. Now, they had some great track teams. But they didn't win speed events. But those Carnegie boys were really good. And the Hutchins boys were really good over there.
That's right, Anthony. Buy some soap.
That's right, Anthony.
Oh, wait a minute. So Denver goes to take her bath, and she put one of her bath bombs in there that Emily got us some bath bombs, but she was hot. She said, Grandmama, it didn't tear up like it's supposed to or something like that.
Hey, just want to give this big shout out.
She was mad, but she didn't put it under the water, Emily. She didn't do it right.
Big Henry. I hope you're listening, brother. We have a big game tonight against the New York Jets. The Atlanta Falcons are playing the New York Jets tonight. And Henry myself will be there coaching the Falcons.
Look at Henry right now, he tired, bless his heart. He telling my babe, I'm coming home because I just want to be home with you. And I'm saying to myself, now he must think I'm stupid. I know what's going on with him. He trying to get home so he can watch the Falcons game. I don't want to be on the road when it's dark. He didn't get every kind of excuse.
He's just trying to get home to his
you. That's right.
He ain't trying to get home to me.
He does. He loves you.
Oh, wait a minute.
Tell Cowboy Nation. That's right. Woo, woo.
Too bad we're off the air now, Anthony.
Well, Henry, he right now driving on two. You know what? He's driving.
You've been listening
right,
to
guys.
All of
We
a
love
Sudden.
you.
Join
Bye.
us
Let's leave
from 5:30
Washington
to
Commanders.
6:30.
They don't
All of a
even
Sudden
sound
with
like
your
football.
host, Brenda Sutton. That's every Monday. We'll see you there.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers, but are the views and opinions of the participants of the broadcast.